Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Well, hello, everybody. And you know what? It's December. So I'm going to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all of the things, Happy New Year. Welcome to the show. This will be my final show for the year. I cannot believe it, you guys. It's been an amazing year of sharing the good with you. And I am bringing another great guest. I'm super tickled to have a colleague join today. And her name is Miss Holli Nesbitt. Hello, Holli. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Good. So you guys, Holli is also in the functional medicine world with me, but we're going to bring you guys something really special. I thought the end of the year, I need to bring something a little bit unique and something that you guys can take home with you, take with your family, take home some of this information that we're going to share today. But we're going to be talking today a little bit about the family and detoxing after the holidays, getting your family into a right state of mind, getting your family back into a healthy nutritional mindset. But before we do that, I want to introduce a little bit about Holli and what she is and what she's about. But she's also, like I said, a functional medicine health coach, and she specializes in gut health and detox. Yay. She helps clients reduce inflammation and increase energy and quality of life using a lifestyle approach. She finds true joy in empowering you with the tools you need to take your health back. She's a mom of 3, loves Jesus, and enjoys spending the outdoors with her family and friends. So that's a little bit about Miss Holli. Again, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah. So we're going to dive right in. Oh, and just a little side note, you were on the East Coast, right? So people shout out to, where are you located, Holli, again? You're in New York? No,
we are in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania, excuse me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Just near the PA-Maryland border.
Okay. So. Gotcha. Okay. Are you a native Pennsylvanian? Are you from there originally?
Well, born in Maryland, raised in PA, but we jump the border all the time because we're about 30 minutes from the border. So,
that's how I am too. I'm in Washington State, but I'm 30 minutes from the Oregon border. So same, the Columbia River basically separates us, the two states, kind of the same thing. Yeah. Gotcha. Anyways, so she's an East Coast girl. So shout out to East Coast, woo woo. And I'm the West Coast girl representing over here. So we're going to dive right in. And Holli, we're going to talk about, like I said, you can talk about whatever you like today, but I have an agenda that I would like to talk about, obviously. And that I think is super important. And you and I discussed this prior to this. We need to let people know how important it is to actually take care of their gut and also make sure that we're cleaning up their gut and detoxing a little bit. And I want to say too, just for the listeners out there, detoxing doesn't mean, like a lot of times people think alcohol, when you think detox and alcohol or drugs. No. We all need a detox. We all detox through forms of, our skin, through sweating, through elimination, body, through other different means. So yes. So I want to talk to you about this, and I want you to kind of explain what you're doing with your family and your approach to detoxing. So you have the floor, my dear.
Yes. Well, I absolutely love this topic. And I think that it's awesome that you are just educating people and bringing them, simple things that they can do in their everyday life, because it's so important. I did not realize how important gut health and detox really were. I have battled some health issues myself. I have battled mold illness and Lyme disease, and I also have autoimmunity. And along that journey, I was really looking for ways to just heal my body and just feel better. I ultimately, at the end of the day, as a mom of 3, I just wanted to feel better. And I really dove into this world of natural healing. And because of it, I was able to figure out, just how important it is to focus on these 2 areas of gut health and detox. And honestly, those are probably the most 2 important things that I focused on to get better. And so because of that, now having, raising 3 kids, I'm super passionate about teaching them different lifestyle changes that we've made as a family all together. And then also sharing that with other moms, sharing that with other families that, maybe they're not struggling with chronic health issues. Maybe they are. Either way, it really doesn't matter, because the more you can implement these healthy lifestyle changes, everybody's going to benefit. And if we can be doing them now, even if you're somebody who does not have like a chronic illness going on, if you can be doing it now, you're going to be really setting yourself up for good down the road. So that's why I always think it's important to instill these things in our kids too, as we're raising them. So I love these topics.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when I was before, and so you mentioned Lyme disease, like myself, we both have dealt with Lyme and stuff. And did you ever know about detoxing before Lyme? Because I really didn't. I didn't really pay attention to it. I mean, I kind of knew, but I didn't, like I knew how to sweat and detox, your body when you work out and stuff, but I didn't really truly know the effects of it and how important it is. Would you say the same?
I would say the same. And I did not know. Yeah, I did not know. And I'll take it as far to say, I didn't even realize that there were so many chemicals in different personal care products. And to me, the word detox was foreign. It felt big, scary. Like, what the heck does that even mean?
Right.
I don't think I'm interested. And, I kind of wish it didn't have that stigma, because it's actually very simple. And it's really just tweaking some habits. So a couple things that are really easy. Literally, you can turn around, implement this, today if you wanted to, or even right after the holidays, because during the holidays we have, we eat we're in America, we love our food and our treats and all these things. Right. And especially during Christmas time. And a lot of people, we're up later, we're eating things we don't typically eat. We're getting a little bit less sleep. We're not outside in the sun as much because it's winter. And so we have all these things kind of, compiling. And so after the holidays, it's really good to implement some of these things. And one of the easiest things you can do that literally, it is literally just to eat more whole foods. So when you think about gut health and you think about detox, really just being kind to your gut health is huge. And just basically eating whole foods as much as you can, and switching to that instead of food in a package, right? Food, just a whole food.
Right. So just clean eating, just eating your fruits and veggies. Simple, right? Incorporate more fruits and veggies is all you're saying.
Absolutely. Especially for your gut health. And and maybe somebody's already doing that. Like maybe you're like, oh, well, I already pretty much do that. What could I do on top of that? And the next thing that you could do on top of that would be to do a gluten-free diet. Because gluten is very, very damaging to the intestinal tract, to the digestive tract. Right. A lot of people don't realize that. They think, well, if they don't have an allergy to it, that there's no reason not to eat it. And it's very damaging to the gut, and it causes a lot of inflammation in the body and in the gut. Right. And so, eating whole foods, going gluten-free. If you want to start with your gut and you want to start with, something simple that you can do after the holidays, those would be 2 things that you could easily do. Okay. I think are really, really helpful. The other thing for detox, if you want to move into detox, is really thinking about, okay, I always tell people all the time, think of your body, as a filter. We're exposed to a lot of things day in and day out in our environment, in our food, in our products, and all of it matters. And we cannot live in bubbles. We can't be perfect, but it's more about how can we overall reduce the toxic load on the body. And a lot of times that really, we can do that with what we're exposing ourselves to. So there's a simple app that you can get.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a free app on your phone. It's called the Think Dirty app.
Oh,
Just go to your Google Play Store, grab that free app, and you literally now have a personal assistant. You can go to the store, and when you are picking out your shampoos, your soaps, your makeup, all these different personal care products for your family, you can scan the product and it will rate it whether it has toxins or not in it.
that's so cool. I'm looking it up right now, actually, as you're talking. I'm like, just kind of curious. Think Dirty, THINK,
Yes.
Dirty, DIRTY. Think Dirty. Okay. Got it. Okay. Continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's a simple app that I love. And, it's super easy. It's like, oh my gosh, because when we go to the store and we look at all these different options, it's overwhelming, right? Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't know about you, but if it's overwhelming, then I'm just going to shut down and probably just walk away because and probably not even choose anything. So having that app is really helpful. Screening like our personal care products for toxins is a really great thing to do. And avoiding toxins in our home. So that could be something as simple as, filtering our water. Also choosing organic whole foods as much as possible, right, to avoid the chemicals in our foods. So I like to kind of look at detox as twofold. Like, okay, first of all, how can I avoid as many toxins as possible? Mm-hmm. And then second of all, what can I do every day or frequently to expel toxins from my body? Because the more you can do that, mm-hmm, you're literally going to keep when you think of your body as a filter, you're going to be exposing it to less toxins and you're going to be ridding it of more toxins and really tipping the scale in your favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add in there too, just drinking more water. Right?
Absolutely.
You mentioned filter water, just drinking clean water. I want to emphasize clean water too in there. I don't know, Holly, if you've heard about the distilled water have you heard about that, drinking distilled water for autoimmune conditions? Have you heard about that? How that's good for that?
I usually just use reverse osmosis water.
Yeah,
that's what we use in our home. But
absolutely.
We could totally talk about that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's something new I learned here recently from the Cell Core Biosciences. Just put this out recently, how distilled water, and again, we are not giving any medical advice here, people, but this is something that doctors have found that even with autoimmune conditions and post-COVID even, they're finding that drinking distilled water, because distilled water, what is it? It's evaporated water, right? It's literally steaming all the yuck out of the water. Even it does steam out, the electrolytes as well. So you have to make sure, obviously, you are balanced with those. But yeah, it's something new. I can send you a link about it, but good clean water in general. And I just wanted to emphasize that was something I just learned, was distilled water is very good for post-COVID too. And just drinking some clean water for a bit. Again, you have to be okay with the fact that it has distilled, if you will, all of the impurities, including just your minerals too. So you might need to do some electrolytes in there too. So
that's a great tip. That's honestly, that's something that is super overlooked. We get busy, we forget to drink enough, and hydration is like huge. Yeah. So I love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah. Well, I had a couple other tips for detox.
Great. Please share.
Okay. So at home, and I'm a big fan of just making things simple that you can do at home. So another thing you can do that is very relaxing too, and it's soothing for in the winter because it's always cold out, is to grab a bag of Epsom salts. Okay. They're at Walmart. You can grab even the cheap, just Walmart brand. You don't actually even want salts that have fragrances and infused with things, because that could be added chemicals. Right. So literally buy a bag. It's about $8, $8, something like that. And put 1 cup of Epsom salt into a bath of water that is as warm as you can stand it and soak in there for 20 minutes. And because we expel toxins through our sweat, stool, and urine. So making sure that we are sweating for a good 20 minutes, a couple times a week. The salts will help to pull the toxins out. And it really helps to just, relax and really have a nice detox bath. You can also do it for your kids.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to do even when you're sick or something like that. But it's great to do anytime just to keep the toxic load on the body down. So I love doing detox Epsom salt baths with our family. It's cheap, it's easy to do. And then the other thing to do when we're talking about like detox food wise, herbal teas. So there's 2 herbal teas that are really great to just kind of like incorporate into your everyday life. And those are milk thistle and dandelion.
Okay.
Because those are really liver supportive. So when we think about detoxing, we want to support the liver. So, and you can do that in the form of herbal teas for just a couple bucks, which you can do at home. Yeah. And also, the last food tip would be to try to incorporate as many more greens into your diet as you can, because greens will also, we have to have good nutrients to support the detox process. So simply, adding them to smoothies, adding, maybe you get a box of kale or spinach and you add some of that to your smoothies or to casseroles or to sauteed veggies, just kind of always trying to sneak them in there. Is another really easy thing you can do, just for your family to support detox and also good gut health. So,
Okay. Awesome. Fabulous tips and easy and all low cost to no cost, really. We're talking a couple bucks here and there just to, I love it. I love it. I know there's some other things that I incorporate too for my, my clients. One of the things that I'm a big proponent on is castor oil packs. And I think you and I talked about that too.
Yeah.
And that's pretty inexpensive too. People are like, castor oil, what the heck are you going to make me do? No, people were not making you drink any castor oil and then making you vomit. No. No. That's another simple one that I like to throw out there too, for people to reduce the inflammation. Castor oil has been used for thousands of years, or not thousands, I guess hundreds of years, for many different things. But that's one I like too, for someone to put over their liver. And I want to talk about that for a second, liver health. Can we touch on that a little bit? Because a lot of people don't take good care of their liver and they don't realize the importance of their liver. And when we talk detox, we're not just talking the stomach, we're talking the liver, we're talking the pancreas, we're talking gallbladder, we're talking other organs here too. It's a complete package. Can you explain a little bit more about liver detoxing and how the liver, how the importance of that, not just your gut? Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, I think that's so important. A lot of times people will intermix the word cleanse and detox, and they'll think about them as one and the same, but they're actually not one and the same. So a cleanse is more gut health focused, whereas you're trying to get rid of like the bad gut bugs and kind of reset your gut. And then you have detox where, like you said, where you're focusing on more whole body and the detox process. And the liver is so important because the liver, we have to have a healthy liver. We don't want to overburden it with all sorts of toxins, chemicals, all of that. It really plays a taxing role on it. And one of my favorite things for supporting the liver is milk thistle. I absolutely love it. And a lot of times when people are sick, it's really important to support your liver as well, because whenever your body is fighting something, you want to support your liver so that way, your body can really rid itself of toxins and be as strong as it can be. So I like to really, I love that you tell your clients to use castor oil packs because That is super, super important and very easy to do, and also inexpensive. And then if you can also use, different teas and things like that, it can just be really supportive. So, and I also think that that's really important to do for our kids. We think, well, could I do this for my kids too? Like, I don't know, like this sounds kind of foreign to me or whatever.
Good point.
You absolutely, like our kids, they get impacted by toxins just like we do. I say we live in toxic soup all the time. We do 100%. Like we have EMFs and pesticides and herbicides and all these chemicals in our personal care products and food and things that we didn't have before the Industrial Revolution. And now we're just bombarded with it. And we've got to support our liver so our liver can support detoxification and we can stay healthy, because the less toxic load we have on the body, the healthier we will be as a human. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One other thing that I wanted to bring up was mold. You had mentioned in the beginning, you had some mold toxicity. A lot of people, I don't know about you, but some of my clients that come to me, they have mold issues and they don't even know it until I start talking and they're like, I have chronic sinusitis. I go to the doctor, they give me antibiotics. And I'm like, it's not a bacterial condition. It's a mold condition. A lot of people with sinuses problems don't even know that it's a mold condition and not to look at that. So talk about your mold experience for a little bit too, because that is also a detoxification problem, correct?
Yes. So, well, I more see it as an environmental toxin. And that was something that mold illness. So we have different kinds of molds. And when I'm talking about mold illness, I'm really specifically talking about mycotoxins.
Yes.
So we have mold like on our food and things like that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a myco. So basically you could have think about your home, and do you have a basement that leaks often? Do you have a back door that leaks often? Or do you continually have a roof leak or a window that's leaking? So water damage can cause high humidity, can cause mold growth. Particularly, this happens in a lot of basements, and people aren't even aware. So it's really important to have dehumidifiers running at 55% humidity or less to keep mold from growing. But basically, mold from water damaged buildings can create these pesky little things called mycotoxins. We breathe them in. They're spores that are in the air, and we breathe them in, ingest them, and they cause massive inflammation in the body, first off. And second off, they cause a lot of gut issues. They cause immune dysregulation. So what happened to me with mold was we had purchased a home that I did not know had mold. And within a handful of months of living there, I started to get sick. The mold actually triggered a virus in my body called Epstein-Barr virus. And then that has the ability to trigger 7 autoimmune diseases, and it triggered celiac disease for me. So that was kind of the rabbit trail, and made me super, super sick. And, when you are dealing with something like that, number one, you have to get out of the environment. And then number two, you have to go, to war with it. And you really need to work on your gut health and detoxing, like non-negotiable. So I always say if a basement's musty, if a house is musty, run. Just run. Don't even mess with it, because if you're smelling something musty, there's mold there.
Yep. Oh yeah. I dealt with mold also when I was in college. Actually, we moved into a basement apartment, and it was like a duplex, and we lived in the basement one unit. And I remember I was having tons of sinus problems, and they kept going back. This is why I was talking about the sinus stuff. And they were saying I had sinusitis. I wasn't getting better. I was sick. I was just constantly sick. I had Epstein-Barr, like you, was flaring up. And it was I was just sick. And I remember we didn't even know it, but it always kind of had a musty smell. And I was like, oh, it's just a basement. As you grow up, and you think of like grandma's house with the basement, that's the musty smell of grandpa and grandma's house. Right. But no. And so we actually, when I looked up and there was a ledge above our bed and I looked up and there was black mold, like in the corner. And I was like, I told my boyfriend at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. No wonder I'm sick. And we moved out. We did. We moved out with a matter of a month. But I was so sick for a while and I've still dealt with mold issues down the road. And I've had to treat it. And, it's like your bucket fills up. You can only succumb to so much toxins, then you're going to be sick. So, yeah. But thank you for clarifying that because, and I'm glad you clarified the mold, like cheesy mold, moldy cheese. That's a little bit different than the mold in the air. Yeah. And I want to clarify that. People are like, well, I eat blue cheese all the time. Am I toxic with mold?
Different.
Totally different. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Awesome. Okay, great. Anything else that that you think that would be super important to let people know about detoxing for the holidays or just in general? This isn't just for the holidays, guys. This is just in general too. But I think these are simple things that Holli has pointed out that we all can do. Low cost. Again, you can incorporate into your lifestyle now, incorporate into your children, your husband, your spouse, whoever, your parents right now too. If someone is sick, someone is recovering maybe from COVID-19, even maybe someone is recovering from the flu, even a simple cold. These are all things that are super important. So anything else you want to add on top? Anything else that you can think of that would be really important?
Yeah, well, one thing that I found along my health journey was really, obviously the importance of gut health and detox. But in addition to just trying to live a healthy lifestyle with these tips, I have found something called activation. So it's called NRF2 activation.
Okay.
And basically it is combination of herbs that you can take, your kids can take as well. And it helps support keeping your detox pathways open and keeping the toxic burden on the body down. So we can detox our home as much as we can and our water and our food. But the moment we walk out our front door, we're exposed to things. And so what this does is it helps our internal detoxification system work optimally for us 24/7. And I find that it's a very, very huge helper. And it's a way to get an edge and get ahead of keeping up with the toxic load. So it's also helped me as a mom not freak out so much, so to speak, because we try to avoid all the things. Like as much as we can, but we can't avoid every single thing. And so I really like getting this in my kids' bodies, in my body, my husband's body, because even if, we're doing things as well as we can, and let's say we go out somewhere and there is, some sort of an exposure of something, at least we know that we have this working inside of our bodies to help reduce the toxic load. So that's something that I found along this whole journey that's been huge. And taking that every day, I give it to my kids every day. We take it, and then also adding in a good probiotic each and every day. I think that that's really something simple we can all be doing to just stay proactive with our gut health. So that's a regimen, that's a regimen that we do every day, and it's really, really helpful. And I just think that everybody should know about it. Every mom should know about it because it also helps us get sick less often and just everything. So I would definitely say having a good regimen to support detox and gut health on top of it that you're physically taking is important.
Yeah, I've heard about this product a couple different times, and then you obviously introduced it to me again. I'm not a consumer of it. Just full disclosure to people listening out there, I'm just learning about it just from Holli myself. This Nerf 2 and Nerf 1. So I would love to put a link, maybe in the bio here at the end, or where people can check this out and learn a little bit more about it. If we can do that for the listeners, would that be great, Holli?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Is that something I just give to you at the end. And you can go back and put it in there.
You can certainly shout it out now if you'd like to the listeners, and then people can go back and it'll be in the show notes for people that are listening. You can go back and click on the link. But what's the website, or what's a link that they could go to check out this information about this NFR2 activation that helps you detox?
Yeah. So I have a couple different resources. The first one is the link directly to it. So it's Holli with an I, Holli. My last name, Nesbitt, Nesbitt. So Holli Nesbitt .lifevantage.com. And then I also have a wellness group on Facebook where we talk about detox strategies. We talk about healthy recipes. And then we also talk about activation and just more education and testimonials on how others are using it to detox.
Okay, awesome.
And that group on Facebook. Yeah, so that group's called Holistic Health Hacks on Facebook.
Holistic Health Hacks. Okay, great. We'll put the links down below so people can check those out. Wonderful. Awesome, Holli. Okay. You have shared some great tips. I hope to the listeners out there, you guys got a few little tidbits of info that you can take with you today, take home to your family, and utilize these methods. And if you have any other questions about this, you can contact myself or Holli, and please check out her website and learn about the Nerf 1 and Nerf 2 and what she does to further detox. I'm going to check it out as well. Holli, it has been a pleasure for you to be on my show today. Thank you so much. And I look forward
thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. And any final words to the listeners that you'd like to share?
One thing I would say, if you are just getting started on a health journey, or you're really trying to make healthy changes for you and your family, just know that there's a lot out there and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I always say, if you're trying, you're winning. And always remember that, because, every little change you make makes a huge difference. So just always remember that.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much again for sharing. Everybody that's out there, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting, and we'll see you on the next show. Thanks, everybody. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye, and stay well.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.